After being repeatedly stabbed in a violent attack, the 20-year-old victim, Rebecca, had managed to make her way to an empty farmhouse and call for help. But without the aid of an enhanced 911 system, dispatchers were afraid they would not be able to locate the isolated house before Rebecca bled to death.
I'm afraid he's going to come back.
All right, you just stay calm, okay?
I broke in the window, and he'll see the broken window, and I know where I'm at.
Why did he do this, you know?
I work with him, and he seemed to be a nice guy. I've given him rides to work lots of times because he doesn't have a car that works. And he called me at 7 this morning or so and said, I'm over here by your house, so you come get me and take me to my house. And I did, and then he raped me at his house at knife point.
But she just started laying it out, and I think she was so scared she had to tell somebody. And I think Rebecca just wanted somebody to know in case something happened to her before she got help, that somebody was going to know who did this to her.
And then he took me, he said he was going to run away, hitchhike to Omaha, and then his bag was out here in the road somewhere. And if I could just take him there and leave, that he'd be all right. Then I was driving too fast. I was driving about 55 on the gravel road, and the gravel was real thick. And I lost control of the car, and it rolled a couple of times, and it did. He got out of the car, and then he pulled out his knife after it rolled on the side of the car. This car's on its side. Then I closed the window and locked the doors. Then he punched in the window and tried to stab me, and then the guy came and pulled us out. And
who was the guy that came that pulled you out?
I don't know. There was a little bit of blood on us, but we told him it was just from the accident. I don't know if he was a real nice guy. In a big four-door pickup, pulled us out in his chain. And then we still hadn't made it to the place he wanted to go. He said, I told him I didn't want to go out in the gravel roads. And then he said his stuff was on the highway. But I'm not familiar with this area of town.
Is law enforcement with the same place?
No. No.
Okay, we have a little bit of difficulty locating this.
Huh?
Just a minute.
They found him?
No, just a minute. He says it's a large two-story white house. It is two-story, isn't it?
I think so.
Is there a fence at the gate?
Yeah, a big fence, a gate, a big yard.
For a big fence at the gate, and there's 13 dogs barking. I can hear them. Okay, there should be an ambulance out there, Rebecca. But just stay on the phone with me. Don't hang up. I want to make sure that they're in the house with you.
They're not yet.
Okay.
My hand is starting to hurt a lot now.
Okay, honey, they should be there.
Once she knew there was somebody coming, well, then that's when she settled down, and the longer she talked, the less labored her breathing got.
Wait, I hear somebody.
Okay,
I hope it's not Brad.
No. Just settle down.
Here! Somebody's here.
Okay, all right, just calm down.
Oh, it's not Brad. They're here.
Okay, honey. You sure and be tell about the rape business, okay? You tell them that, all right, Rebecca?
When you know they're there, it's always a big relief, because then I don't have to be calm anymore. And if I want to feel bad about it, I can.
Paramedic Jim Bedorick and his partner treated Rebecca at the scene.
She was very frightened, and rightfully so. She was pretty much covered with blood from head to toe.
Can you breathe all right? Okay, everything.
It was apparent from the wounds that she had on her hands that she was fending off blows and fighting to protect herself. She was fighting for her life.
Rebecca?
This really made a big impact on me. Rape is a violent crime. It's not a sexual crime. And, you know, the graphic illustration of it's what really made the impact on me.
The young woman was later questioned by Grand Island Police Detective Rick Ressel.
After the sexual assault, he wanted Rebecca to drive him to a location where he had placed some of his belongings. At least that's what he said. They drove to a location where a driveway went into a cornfield, and she realized that there probably is not any belongings there and that Geiger wants to kill her. Rebecca grabbed the keys out of the car. Geiger caught up with her and grabbed a hold of her, and he started to slash her with a knife. During the struggle, she lost the car keys somewhere. He grabbed her hair, threw her onto the ground, and Rebecca grabbed the blade of the knife and bent the blade of the knife with her bare hand. During the attack, he attempted to straighten the blade, and Rebecca was able to break away from him and started running away.
The only thing I could think about was getting help. I just knew I had to get away from him. I knew I had to run to the farmhouse.
She started yelling for help. However, no one was at home. The doors were locked, so she breaks out a window and manages to get into the house. It's just, I'm really impressed by her strong will and desire to live. Many, many people would have just laid down and died under the same circumstances.
The young victim was rushed to the nearest hospital with 21 stab wounds as State Patrol officers, the National Guard, and sheriff's deputies from 3 counties began a massive manhunt. After 5 hours, a tip from a caller led investigators, including Patrol Sergeant Gary Esser, to a cornfield not far from the house where the victim had been found.
In this particular case, the cover was so heavy that if you would have been 3 foot into this cornfield, you probably couldn't have seen 3 foot. We came into the field at a very low level. We were intentionally flying low, hoping that we could see this subject in these corn rows. But it's a jungle in there. At one point, I could see the prop wash lifting the corn leaves and so forth. They were actually suspended in the air. And under this, I could see this subject lying in one of the rows. I was yelling at people with my portable radio that he was directly under us. The officers on the ground then started moving in.
After 6 hours of searching, the manhunt was finally over. The suspect later pleaded guilty to rape and attempted second-degree murder and was sentenced to 25 years in prison. In the 2 years since the attack, the physical wounds have completely healed. Just last week, Rebecca was engaged to be married.
The hardest part of the recovery was mental. There was a lot I had to work through. But it was just the will to survive and the fact that I was only 20, I hadn't gotten married, I had a whole life in front of me. And it was just a very, very strong will to survive. I just had to. You know, nobody wants to die. I really, really liked being the kind of person that could trust anybody. I'd like to be that way again, but I know it's not possible in today's world. That incident taught me to be very cautious. You just can't trust everybody you think you want to.
Recently, Rebecca got a chance to meet the 911 dispatchers who helped save her life.
Hi, Charlene.
Uh-huh.
Hi, I'm Rebecca.
Hi, Rebecca Smith.
I wanted to meet you for so long. It was wonderful meeting Charlene and Kathy. I wanted to meet them for a long time. They're just sweet as I ever thought they were.
This is Kathy.
Most of the time, people forget about us entirely. So it was quite a treat to get to meet somebody that we helped. I was glad I was able to. I was glad that she was able to walk down them stairs and come in and talk to us. I really was.
I told myself I wasn't either.
Seeing her today made me go back to that day and just know that it could have been a whole lot worse. It could have turned out just horribly. And just to think, looking at her today, thinking, well, hey, this all turned out okay. You know, she's okay. And that's the most important thing, that she's okay.
She was my lifeline. She wasn't even there for me to hug or anything. She just saved my life.
Next.
They told me to take him home and keep him as comfortable as I could until he died.